The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh, got my hustle on, no imitation of bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throbbing my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty.
Game reports here on our podcast, coming to you December 12th, 2023. Again, it's another report here with my man, Kyle F. and Nash. Kyle, what a weird week in the NFL, huh?
Absolutely, man. First of all, I gotta throw more shouts to GWESTWLIO for your theme song. I mean, it's so good. He got your kid's name wrong with Travis, and you still kept it in. So that's
What's funny, there's a story behind that. So I've had this theme for the show for about almost 10 years now. And at the end of you hear at the end of the song, it says leaving Eli a dynasty. Right. At the time, I only had one kid.
Yeah, Travis.
I have two now. Shut up. Okay. Yeah,
Travis.
Anyway, so my youngest Logan has now got old enough to understand certain things, and he hears a song. He's like, he got a little jealous. Like, where's my name? So now
you got to get the hell out of retirement. Good luck.
So now I have to text G at some point this week. Like him and I talk all the time for the record. And I'm gonna have to tell him, listen, can you give me a rewrite or something?
Not a rewrite. How about? I mean, like
maybe a fresh song. Yeah. Maybe a fresh new song. Maybe yeah, but yeah, the 6-year-old is said, what about me? What about me? Like, oh, I mean,
the tough part, honestly, is since he goes to bed before either of your children, his window to actually create music is limited in the span of a 24-hour period.
He chooses to do that though. He chooses to go to bed early. Like
that doesn't mean I can't mock it by comparing him to your children. Come on, that's the joke, EJ Christian. Damn it.
By the way, do you like me in like turquoise?
I
mean YouTube. I always wear black.
You look weird trying to represent your Jags, especially a week after they lost to the Browns in the fashion that they did. But sure,
my Jags or your Jags?
Your Jags.
Oh, my Jags. Interesting. I'm a Jags fan now. Interesting.
I mean, if you aren't, I appreciate the information. I always just nowadays assume you're a fan of any team that's not the 49ers, who you're now compelled probably to put the top of your rankings on Tool Time on the Huddle Up podcast. Bing! But that's a whole other conversation.
It's the best team in football. Come on now. But anyway, Kyle, first question before we get these two Monday night games real quick.
Yes.
Why were there two Monday night games at the same time on Monday like last night? I don't understand that.
I look like the fucking ESPN program director. Like, what are we doing?
I totally know that. Next question. Okay. Dolphins collapse.
Of course, I think it's stupid too, for what it's worth. And by the way, I appreciate the fact you asked this question on your show, so I could drop the bomb in question. Shall we continue?
Yeah, go ahead. Dolphins collapsed last night against the Titans. Another team I jinx right now on
Thank you for saying it so I don't have to. Listen, at some point it sounds like I just beat on you because I'm a horrible person. No, this is what you do. You are an evil that should be removed from the blight of football, okay?
You want to send out our text I sent yesterday on our group text? What I sent to you yesterday?
I mean, I can find it here. This isn't exactly great radio.
It has to be verbatim. I'm going to say, basically saying...
See, here's the thing, EJ. It's not just that you've jinxed this team, as I set it up here, right? There are a number of teams, in fact, you have jinxed, okay?
Who played last night?
What's that?
And two of them played last night.
And two of them, in fact, did play on Monday Night Football, competing with one another. So you had to have two TV screens on to absorb all the awful. Let's see. Here's EJ. It looks like Ravens Dolphins on New Year's Eve is going to decide the number one seed in the AFC. I respond with 12-17. You forgot the Jags or Ravens play that day. You think I don't know what New Year's Eve is by putting NYE. You said read it again. And then Jim goes essentially, look, bitch, Kyle can read. You're just a tool. And
and away we go.
After Monday night, I'm paraphrasing a couple things.
Of course. Yeah.
But and then after last night, I said, "So how is this looking?" In reply to your declaration of your alleged AFC.
What did I say in response to that?
I
Great, Bob.
Not great, Bob.
No, this morning. And Kyle, I gotta tell you. So everybody knows that. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to say, not great, Bob.
No, that's why I set you up, man. Come on. No. So this, everybody knows that Giant fan first. As you guys can see, my team, my mug right here, of course. Dolphins 2. I was more upset this morning, and
Wait,
more
the Dolphins are your number 2 team over the Cowboys. Interesting.
Yeah,
even over the Irish. Well, that's college. That's not fair.
Right, exactly. Shut your ass. No. My wife Lauren this morning she was like, "Wow, why are you upset this morning? You look miserable." I go, "Yeah, the Dolphins lost last night. I'm pissed off." This is the same time where I'm watching the Giants win at the same time, and the Heat win about an hour before that. I had all 3 games on the same time.
Hey, drop it.
So
just to talk about your basketball team, you need to drop the line.
Go Heat, bitch.
Like, why is this always like pulling teeth for you?
Because man, it's not pulling teeth. It's just, I just don't think.
Go Heat, bitch. Shall we move on?
Yeah, I don't feel like of all the teams I have to prove my Heat fandom. Everybody knows 35 years counting. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, that's why you need to say "Go Heat, bitch." It's fun.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun? You can
no, you're right.
That's causing some sort of cosmic paradox, like when you use the Rock to prop FSU for reasons I still don't quite understand.
Fam. Anyway, Dolphins. This is a bad loss. Not just because the way they lost, but their schedule is a little bit frisky going forward at the end of the year.
Especially after the Ravens narrowly escaped the Rams in overtime. You needed a win to keep up, and instead you're right there in the mix with the Chiefs, Jags, and Texans. Not great, Bob. It can't be accented enough, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out what happened. I'll be honest, between this game just not being on my radar in general, because Monday night games have been awful for all the people that want to gripe and bitch about Thursday night games. Monday night says, hold my vodka. All right. I was also at the Magic game last night watching Orlando hold off the Cleveland Cavaliers, which, by the way, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, very good at basketball. But we'll talk more about that on the Student of the Game. Bing! Anyways, here's the thing. It's really hard for me to put a finger on what's exactly wrong. All the people that be trying to tell me Tua is an MVP candidate now look really stupid. All the people that be trying to tell me that the Dolphins are a lock for the AFC championship, which there weren't many. Yeah, that's impacted. But here's the thing. I feel like the Ravens are just as due for another letdown loss somewhere, especially with news, for example, of Walker Little coming back into the roster for the Jags. That's a big deal because it dramatically improves their offensive line. Yeah, I know it is but one man, but just so they have something somewhere where there could be some protection for just a moment. That's not a rookie in Anton Harrison. By the way, I know he won't get it, but Anton Harrison is a Rookie of the Year candidate, should be getting a lot more buzz than it is. It obviously won't, because CJ Stroud's been looking like a bad mamma jamma, which, by the way, there's another thing you didn't have on your bingo card. Holy Christ. Let's just say we'll get to the AFC South later and all that whole situation.
Yeah. I mentioned, though, because the schedule, not because the Ravens part, because I'm catching up the 1 seed. All of a sudden now, the Buffalo Bills are live again. Okay? They're live.
You're the one that had them dead.
They are a strange team. That's a huge win against Kansas City. We'll get to the Chiefs in a second.
Yep.
All of a sudden, that hard schedule getting a little bit easier now. Their last 4 games, they play Dallas this week.
At this point, right? It was Kansas City and the Eagles back to back, and I said if they could survive that, there's still hope, which they seem to have done.
But now you look at the last 4 games of the year, there are actually now 2 gimmies: Patriots at home.
You mean just won Patriots over the damn Steelers,
right? And now the Chargers game now was a gimme because Mr. Herbert out for the year.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's out for the year, and Brandon Staley, who's a defensive coach, can't defend a damn thing apparently. Yeah,
Right.
no, 100%. Which the most Buffalo Bills thing of this year would be them still blowing it, but that's a whole other.
Right, I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh, am I picking the Bills with the AFC East?" No, I will still say Miami Dolphins. Okay,
I'm more focused on you claiming the Bills will miss the playoffs. That is definitely in jeopardy.
Right, but I will say, Miami's schedule going forward, they got issues too now. Next week, Jets. Then,
I mean, are the Jets really that dangerous though?
Divisional games are weird. You know how it is.
You're right.
Then you got Ravens, Cowboys. Oh no, Cowboys, Ravens, and then Buffalo Week 18 at home.
So 2 competitors for their respective conference. One seed. Though the Eagles have really shot themselves in the foot. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
And then another playoff vying is the Buffalo game week 18?
So if you're Miami, you want to have a 2-game cushion going week 18, not 1 game, because it's 1-game cushion and you lose that game, guess win the division.
I'll tell you, on the Pro Sports Fans app, I might have Travis have to solo that Titans Jags game, because that week 18 with the Dolphins, woo, they might have to flex that into the night game, buddy.
And that's why a loss like last night becomes more on a spotlight, because huge loss. Because again, you want, this is the one thing that I preached for years. You want to bake in all the wins that are give me wins. This is the give me win last night. You're 14-point favorite. And not only do you not cover the spread, you lose. That's a bad loss to the Dolphins last night. But I will say this, though. Last night's game, though, solidified one thing for me, and I hope maybe other people will smart. Only elevated Tyreek Hill's MVP case. He gets hurt yesterday. Totally different offense in the field when he's gone.
I'm sorry. Are you looking for a debate on this one? Because you're not going to get it.
You're not in the same boat. He is still on my leaderboard. Like my cousin sent me a text this morning. He goes, last night Tyreek Hill was the best MVP of the team. Well, team, bro, he's an MVP of the league right now, and I've been saying for like 8 weeks now.
This guy gets it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a bad loss of Dolphins. So if I'm the Dolphins, I'm sorry. I know Jim's gonna hate when I say this, and you guys gonna hate when I say this. These 4 games are fucking must wins, man. These are must wins going forward. Because
well, hold on. Must win for what? What's the target?
Well, you're 9-4 now. 7-6.
Are you saying to get the top seed or what?
Well, the same pace, number 1. You got to win these games. I mean, and obviously got Baltimore coming in 2 weeks, so that's obviously going to be set up well for that one. You want to fall behind for that one. You want to at least be in range, so where if you win that game, then you have that tiebreaker. But I will say Buffalo right now is, a win like that against Kansas City, albeit got some breaks there. Buffalo's they're live. That's what I'm saying. They're live.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to have that.
Dangerous place to have a Josh Allen is having life breathed into him and resuscitated. But
right, exactly.
If you're talking about Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins still being a top seed candidate, this next game, what is the next Dolphins game? You said it, I forgot.
Jets.
Yeah, that's a must win. I'll allow that, because you need that cushion when you're dealing with the Ravens on New Year's Eve and then the Cowboys and Bills there too. Yeah, you can't afford to fall behind another game going into those 3. I will sign off must-win status on Jets Dolphins.
And if you're a Dolphin fan, you are the biggest Cowboy fan in the world this week. Keep Buffalo low as you can, so that way that week 18 game is not a game you need. So because pressure.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I can say about Tua this year is that Tua with pressure, not good, not great in primetime games either.
Great, Bob. Maybe a quarterback who's good with pressure. That's very.
I'm saying you're starting to see a little more of a Kirk Cousins like scenario here with him now, where you can't win on primetime.
Ooh, God, it's a little rough, isn't it?
Not quite Kirk Cousins, but there's a little trend starting to grow a little bit with him. Like games on Monday Night Football, games on Sunday Football. Not the greatest quarterback in the world. The same.
I mean, I will say that there's been a game or two as a lone air quotes prime time game where he struggled. Am I ready to go full Curdy Cousins? No, I'm not.
Kirk Coupons, whatever his name is. Anyway,
Say, how about the 49ers clinching a playoff berth, by the way? Isn't that great?
Like, you sound surprised. Oh, this is the first, in the 10 years of doing this report, this is the first year you really went heavy homer on this show. With the
It's because I feel like this team's that much better than last year's.
No, but even in previous years, too, also, even the Super Bowl year, you were not like this. I know.
Well, so
I'm not mad about it, for the record. Just,
No. And as you observe it, like, I kind of noticed it after you said it last week, but I think part of it is I don't know that we've had a year lately where the Niners have played all three NFC East teams that are aligned with, well, all two. You're a Cowboys fan, that's right. But like on the Huddle Up podcast, you two, you and Jim cheer for the Cowboys, and then we talk a lot about the Giants because reasons. And then Matt is the Eagles fan, obviously. And it's funny because the two highest ranked teams in that division are the one that got spanked the hardest by the 49ers. Meanwhile, all over and above, while taking a player from that same NFC East and Chase Young and just evolving into a next level of defensive front that's made them an absolute juggernaut. I'm telling you, EJ, Trent Williams, if somehow the Niners find themselves in position in like week 17, not week 18, because I'd want them to play and get warm and be ready. But in week 17, if the Niners have clinched the number 1 seed or in a scenario where they can't get anything higher than seed X, they need to sit Trent Williams, because the moment he's hurt, anything else is going to go out.
Dan Orlovsky last week said it best.
No, he didn't. Dan Orlovsky
no. Slow down.
No, I said what I said, Ernest Christian.
No, you'll like what to say here. No, he said the MVP of this league is Trent Williams.
Oh, well, I said that 2 months ago. So no, Dan Orlovsky didn't say it better, motherfucker. I did on this show.
You said that 2 years ago. That's not saying much. I'm saying he acknowledged that 2 years ago. MVP of this league is. I'm saying he said last week. That's what MVP is. We won't get any votes.
I mean, it's nice of him to finally catch up with a good take. Now tell him to spice his fucking chicken and let's move on.
Right? Jeez. Anyway,
you can make all white folks looking bad on that one. Shit.
Hey. Do we have a real quarterback controversy in New York, Mr. Nash?
No.
DeVito era, baby.
No,
3 in a row.
Listen, I know you're having a football conversation. Unfortunately, as you like to remind people, this is a business. And simply put, Daniel Jones has paid entirely too much damn money for that to actually hold any water. All right?
Right.
No. It's cute, but no.
I will say, though, the one thing I'll say about him, and granted, it's only a 4-game sample of being a starting quarterback, is the one thing I will say about I like with him compared to Jones, he's way more decisive with the football.
That's interesting.
Way more decisive.
You mean he doesn't have the pressure of an overpaid contract in his brain to possibly pull down his performance? It's almost as if that had repercussions, right, EJ Christian?
This has always been an issue with Daniel Jones for years, even before he got the big contract.
You're not wrong.
He's a one-read guy, and then he just runs. Or he doesn't...
like they tried to tell you Trevor Lawrence was.
The Giants now, all of a sudden, 1 game out of wild card.
In the NFC, everybody's one damn game.
True. Even Carolina. No, just kidding.
Somebody said to me when I pointed out that the Jags' schedule after the Ravens is relatively weak, somebody goes, the Bucs are fighting for a playoff spot. That doesn't make them fucking good. Anyways, continue.
No, but, like, obviously the Giants have technically 3 years in the contract, but they can get out of that after 1. I'll be honest with you, the temptation is there for the Giants. I'm sure, like, if they can, somehow try to trade, because that's
finding a buyer, EJ Christian.
Right, right, of course. But like I said, they got that deal next year. After next year, the trend now in the NFL you'll see now with teams now is that you buy low on a quarterback, you get a low quarterback like a Brock Purdy, for example, who's getting paid dirt cheap. Surround the team around that guy, and then hopefully you can build around that. Maybe grab a title or two before you got to pay the quarterback. That has been to be a practice.
Sure, everybody can pull Tom Brady directly out of their ass. Why didn't I think?
Right, of course. But you see more teams starting to really embrace. Like San Francisco's done that on steroids.
And by the way, I am not trying to ordain Brock Purdy as Tom Brady. Let's hold the fuck.
He is good though. He is pretty good.
The point I'm making is, well, no, it's not that he's good. Tom Brady is a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. He's not the best quarterback talent-wise, and he will tell you that. The best thing about Thomas Edward Patrick Beaver Brady had nothing to do with a single fucking thing he did on the football field. That's right, I said it. Has nothing to do with what he did on the football field. What made Tom Brady great is the stuff he did off of it. His preparation being maniacal as it was, so much that it eventually destroyed his damn family, allegedly. Then over and above that, this guy watched the film in special ways, but also in the meeting room when signing contracts, never really took a stupid, expensive deal to weigh down his team. It's the same sort of thing that Patrick LeVon Mahomes II is dealing with now. It's the same sort of thing that Aaron Charles Rodgers dealt with in Green Bay. And I doubt those are the final examples. We'll see. Joe Flacco, of course, in Baltimore, who I feel like I have to mention because now he's a starting quarterback in the frickin' league again.
Hey, elite Joe Flacco, baby's back. Joe, I kid, buddy. Relax.
There's a certain level of fiction to what you just said, and I'll let you figure out what I meant in that comment. But the punchline is, yeah, man, it's not always about having the best quarterback. It's about having the quarterback that can manage the roster best, which is why I've always hated, even years ago. I think it's shit. I got to look up what year it is now. But you might remember the Sports Symposium, EJ Christian, one of the videos I made with my friend Demosthenes, Euclid of Hilarity by Default.
How's he doing? By the way?
He's engaged to be married, and I'm going to the wedding in July in Greece. Anyways, so yeah, she's cute, by the way. Shouts to Theothesina. Her name, she's truly Greek, dude. That's why the wedding's there. I had to amass my inner Greek to get that out of there. Anyways, but yeah, for everything that's going on there, it's about building the best roster. This is what we're learning. Having a great quarterback is awesome, but it's only awesome when you're not paying him $500 million, right? No offense to Patrick LeVon Mahomes II, but you know,
that's what happens.
It's to Kadarius Toney soon enough. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll get there in a second. We're almost there. Give me your Eagles. Well, no. Actually, no. Scratch that. Cowboys won that game, so the winner gets spoils first. Are the Cowboys, in your opinion, officially Super Bowl contenders?
No.
Wow, you're going to say that. And you're going to say that. Hater.
I mean, listen, you got to go full Nathan R. Jessup. For me, listen, this is you knee-jerking harder than me again. First of all, let's say, for example, your Packers, who you jinxed the bejesus out of on this very show last week. Let's say that the Packers battle the Cowboys in the first round. You know, some people in that Cowboys locker room going to be having the lemon booty going into that game, okay? Let's be clear about that. And by the way, here's the thing. In order to make the Super Bowl, one has to win their conference, which means the smart money says at some point, that Golden Gate Bridge has to be crossed. And the last thing they've gotten from San Francisco is a treat. That's right. I made some damn rice-a-roni smack.
Yep.
Because that's how
treat.
Bing, bing, which is exactly how the Cowboys will get boiled against or steamed. I don't know. However you like to cook your rice, that's what's going to happen to the Cowboys, because the 49ers have shown you they can cook it a bunch of different ways, kind of like Bubba from Forrest Gump and Shrimp. You can fry them, fillet them, scampi them, shrimp scampi, shrimp sandwich. Hey, I don't have to do the senior point. I've never had a shrimp burger, but that sounds fun as hell.
It does, actually, if done correctly. With
no offense to anybody, in fact, who has a shellfish allergy, but yeah.
Well, like you say, no, like, so you don't see them playing in a conference title game.
You didn't say conference title game.
To me, okay. So again, when I say Super Bowl contenders, to me, it's how I interpret Super Bowl contender is a team playing in the division, playing for an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl. Basically, Final Four.
Then still no.
Ooh.
Then still no. Because what you're telling me is, and now granted, the Lions are falling apart. So maybe that part of it is less true than it was. I will grant you that, homie.
Mm-hmm.
But you're trying to tell me today that I can guarantee a W. Hell, they barely made it past the Seahawks, right? You know, you were trying to tell me how they were locked in the other day until they weren't. I don't know. You've jinxed so many teams, I'm losing count. I see where you're going. There's only 4 teams that you take seriously in the conference. Cool. What you're asking me to do is take the Cowboys more seriously than the Niners or the Eagles. Even though they completely bitch slap the Eagles on Sunday, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay. I see a point there. I think there's something to that too. Also, to the Cowboys, you know, having these moments and then letting you down I get it because this team's won 12 games the last 2 years.
I would hope you're attached to this by now.
Calm down, the Cowboys thing.
At the very least, you're attached to an
fake news.
Cowboys
fake news.
I'm
Hillary.
No one's a Cowboys fan than me. No, but yeah, listen, just ask Big Jim if you want a ride on that magical roller coaster of despair. You know,
I get it. I get it. With that being said, give me a panic meter for the Eagles right now.
2.
See, I'm there too. Also, I'm there. I'm at 1 or 2, maybe at the most 3.
I mean, what am I panicking about though? Like, is it there? I mean, what's the bar? Are we talking about? Hey, this is you trying to make the number 1 seed. Then it's a 5 because you've already lost the tie break to the Niners. I mean, because the head-to-head game, and it's 8-1 and 6-2 for the conference record, right? So the Niners are a game and a half up conference record wise, right?
Right.
So that can be made up in the next 4 weeks, but the Niners have to completely be obliterated in the coming weeks, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But if we're talking about making the playoffs and being in a position to fight themselves into a playoff win or 2 or 3, yeah, it's a 2.
Yeah, I keep telling Cowboy fans pumping the brakes too because the Eagles are done. I'm like, brother, have you seen their upcoming schedule?
Yeah, don't you hate it when people say that people's seasons are done way too prematurely, man?
Yeah, I know. Shut up. Because what you saw, that loss against the Cowboys might be the last loss of the year. Because
that's accurate.
Their last 4 games, cake at Seahawks, Giants at home, Cardinals at home, and at the Giants. So again, Cowboy fans, calm down. And if they win out anyway, they win the division.
Listen, and it's the most underrated linebacker in the league, Foye Oluokun, of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who said it. I heard him say it personally. This is a week-to-week league, which I know it sounds like a simple thing, but like hearing somebody that's in the warfare in the trenches of it, if they understand that they could go from dog to champion in just the flip of a switch with a key injury or just coming out flat 1 week, please see the Jaguars facing the Texans and both teams losing at home, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, if we live in that world, if you're going to try to tell me that the Eagles can't just flip right around and tear through the Seahawks, the Giants twice, and the Cardinals, you're out here effing gourd,
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would argue that the Seahawks, I don't think that I would get much resistance either, that the Seahawks are their most difficult. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Remaining.
That's easily the best remaining team.
That's what I said. There'd be no conflict.
Absolutely. What question? Give me a Chiefs pet me right now. The Chiefs 8-5 now.
Yeah. So I've been shaking them off as I have in years past. I know there's a particular year where I demanded you take them out of the top 10 because of the way they were slumping, and you wouldn't because you're just bad at your job. But the Chiefs,
you like that?
No, you can't make that joke. He's out for the year.
That's a fair point.
I'll tell you, I sure as hell didn't have 3 out of the past 4 weeks being losses. You know what I'm saying? That sure as hell wasn't on the bingo card. And say what you will about the Kadarius Toney situation and all that. I would even argue that the Bills, for context, is the same kind of crazy physics I would expect from a division game. Matter of fact, this was more of a crazy, wonky potential of a division game than any division game the AFC West would offer the Chiefs, okay? I don't take the Raiders at all seriously. I mean, 3-0. Am I right, EJ Christian? Like, what the F are we doing here? You have a team. You have a team. I'm laughing. You have a team that lost to the Vikings 3-0. And this is one of your big threat, whatever. The point is, and this is the part to actually be panicked about, EJ Christian, assuming Jake Browning remains as hot as he is, I'm going to call the remaining schedule overall for the Chiefs easy. All right. The Pats aren't really a threat. Even fresh off of an emotional win over the Steelers.
God, we'll get that in a second.
Belichick seems to have that franchise's number, doesn't he? Anyways,
no matter the year, no matter what quarterback he has.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? But yeah, and then the Chargers. Well, you mentioned Herbert going down with the broken finger.
Out for the year.
Yeah, okay. Be as worried about the Chiefs as you want. I think anybody with the pulse and knowledge of football would still say they're an 11-win team at worst to wrap up the season, right? So, yeah, I'm going to say it's a 5, but yeah.
I will say for theater's sake, though, don't look now. The Broncos are game behind in division.
Yeah,
and they split their games already, too. So,
yeah, no,
can't use that against them. So, look, I'm still picking Chiefs in the AFC West. That's still going to happen, in my opinion, barring a catastrophe. But just saying, for theater, it's not. I mean, Broncos.
Listen, if you want to say something theatrical, how about the Broncos in the damn? What is it? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 team lockup.
Oh, we're getting there. We're
7 wins.
Oh, we're getting there a little bit. We're going to do it.
No, we will. Listen, all I'm saying is I had the Broncos and Texans winning 7 games all damn year. And these humpy pumpies are up in here causing a ruckus.
That's true.
I had the Colts winning 5. What are they doing here?
I had the Colts winning like 3 or 2.
That's because you're a hater. Anyways.
Shane Steichen, Coach of the Year candidate, definitely. Especially
the answer is the Browns coach.
Oh, Stefanski is definitely my leader right now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Lions let me down big time this week, brother.
How about the entire league, Home Slice? What are we doing?
What was that? And we should have known this from the start because these teams just played 3 weeks ago, and Chicago had them dead to rights in the fourth quarter.
Well, and it's divisional game physics, right?
Right.
And let me remind the world at large. I had the Lions winning the North with only 9 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So let's let that sink in for a moment.
They're there now.
They're there at 9 wins now, and it's very plausible that they could still tank as such and win the stupid division.
Well, good job, Giants, last night. Let me bring up the schedule. I'll bring up the schedule right now for you, so we go.
I mean, the only thing that makes that problematic, in that they finish with 9 wins and win the division, is that they have the Vikings twice.
Yeah.
So
all of a sudden they're hanging around, and that Denver game now on Saturday night, Denver and Detroit, huge game for both teams. Minnesota twice, and then this is not an easy schedule, dude, by no means.
Okay, first of all, you need to get off the Vikings bandwagon. Just
no. But division optics are always weird, as you say.
But the Vikings are bad. 12-10 to the Bears, buddy.
Yeah, you're right. 3-0 win to the Raiders. You're right, brother. No, they should at least get 11 wins. Should, but
I don't know about 11. But
you win both those games. That's 11 wins in there.
Yeah. Oh well, no, I'm even willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that they split the Vikings.
Right.
I mean, I'll put it this way. Yeah, the Broncos are a harder game than it was. They could very well lose that on Thursday. That's actually not a bad Thursday night game. Lions Broncos. I'm down. Sean Payton.
No, that's Saturday. That's Saturday.
Excuse me. I said Thursday. Right. I meant Saturday. Thank you.
Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah. Sean Payton versus Man Campbell. You could do a lot worse.
Yeah.
Russell Carrington Wilson versus, okay, I scoff at Goff, but still, you see where I'm coming from.
No, absolutely. No, without question. Where I'm at down the lines, though, safe to say, based on the optics, barring some massive things that happen differently in the next couple weeks in other divisions, Lions are locked in the 3 seed.
I don't think that's a bold claim. I think all you're doing is saying the NFC South sucks.
Yeah, so they're locked in the 4 seed. I don't see them overtaking either Philly or Dallas, who wins the East.
I mean, the Saints could still jump to the number 1 seed, allegedly, right?
Who's that?
The Saints? Your Saints could jump to the number 1 seed?
I mean, mathematically, it's still in it.
Oh, shut up.
They got to win out, and then everybody's going to lose out. But it ain't going to happen. Shut up, bitch. Here's a question. I'm not going to piss you off, but I'll say anyway, because we were hearing some chatter from people, not from this one office, but some people. Should the Steelers consider moving on from Mike Tomlin?
Not yet. And first of all, I'm not. You say it's going to piss me off. I think it's a bad move, but it doesn't make me angry because I've seen stranger things. You want to know why I'm not angry?
Why?
It would lead to some great chaos in this form. Follow me, EJ Christian, on this mystical, magical ride. We've talked about another tenured coach being threatened to see the door, which I can say that, and it's vague enough to where you may not know who I mean. But can you imagine Mike Tomlin then replacing that coach and going from wearing black and yellow to wearing red, white, and blue and working with Robert Kraft? Bro.
Yeah.
If the Steelers were that dumb, which I have no reason to believe the Rooney family will be, if you've seen their history with coaches, they've had 3 coaches since the goddamn 70s, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Let that shit sink in.
Nor will I ever call them dumb because they sign my paychecks also too. So there you go.
The Rooneys sign your paycheck?
Yeah, they own the place I work at, my day job.
Oh, that's right. You had to catch me back up there. I didn't put it together. Right?
Yeah. So I will never say that. Very smart family, very good family too.
It's adorable. And listen, they already went South Park. They blamed Canada, and it still hasn't fixed the offense. So I mean, that being didn't Trubisky start that game?
Who?
Or sorry, Trubisky. I used the wrong.
I retired Trubisky because certain people in our orbit.
No, it's awful. I meant to say Trubisky, as in they're going to miss the playoffs if he starts.
I think they're done, dude. He looked like shit on Thursday. He looked like utter
Trubisky
garbage.
started on Thursdays.
How fast before we see Mason Rudolph back in there as the other backup now? Because he was that bad on Thursday that at this point I wouldn't be against Mason Rudolph coming in there. But that being said, and that's actually a good transition now. We could do this now if we want to.
What I want to do really quick is make this into a Christmas carol, right? You put us in a situation, Mason, with your throws so bright. Won't you lead this team tonight?
You're so stupid. That being said, let's get to the playoff picture. We're not that time of year. We're a month away. The name of this episode is called "And Down the Stretch We Come" because we're down last month of the year. Which conference we go first, Kyle?
Shit, you're doing this again.
Yeah, this is fun.
Let's get the NFC out of the way, I think. Because the answer to everything is the Niners are good. Who cares?
Cocky fan.
Hey,
all right, so NFC first.
Cocky until Trent Williams gets hurt, buddy. You know this.
Absolutely. San Fran 1 right now. Cowboys 2. Lions 3. Bucks 4. We've had a different leader. We've had a different leader of this NFC South for the last 3 weeks. In the last 3 weeks, 1 week was the Falcons. Then was the Saints, and now it's the Buccaneers. Unbelievable. Wild card right now is Eagles to 5, Vikings to 6, 7 Packers lost last night to the Giants. Now, real quick, all the chaos is in the bottom at this point. We know that already.
No shots here.
The only race on top really have here is the 1 seed.
Let's not go too crazy with all the chaos. Listen, that number 2 seed, that top seed. I mean, let's call it what it is. If the Niners misstep, the top is still pretty competitive. We don't know the road through the conference yet. We don't.
I will go so far as to say that all the pressure's on the Niners because they have a tougher schedule between them and the Eagles.
Okay, so let's build on that. Like
there's a Super Bowl preview possibility on that Niners schedule in a few weeks. You know that, right?
I don't have it in front of me yet, so you're kind of
the other 1 seed in the other conference is playing you guys in 2 weeks or 1 week from now, whatever the hell that game is.
No, come on, stop.
Ravens and Niners. Ravens and Niners.
Oh, I thought you were saying. Oh yeah, right, because the Dolphins did bad.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Raiders Niners is going to be a hell of a football game, and there's a great. It's perfect that it's on Christmas night.
Yeah, give it Ravens Niners. No, Niners schedule. You have it in front of you. Let me bring it up to you.
But the rest of them, it's the Cards, Commies, and like the Rams, who the Niners always seem to play pretty well,
no matter what, right?
So
the Niners. We said earlier the Eagles' schedule is cake. They should win all 40 games.
It really is.
Niners,
like I would argue that the Niners' schedule's most difficult game is more difficult because it's Baltimore, but the fact that they have 3 easy NFC teams to just basically put away the conference and secure the tiebreak on the Eagles, like the Eagles cannot misstep, and they more likely won't. I would argue their low goes lower, right? Because it's the Giants twice. And after that emotional win over the Packers.
Yeah, I know. I would argue the Niners can't hiccup once. The one hiccup by the Niners could be the end of it, and the Eagles still number 1 seed because the Eagles went out there by record. Because the record.
No. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's 1-3.
I had to think about it.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is you're guaranteeing a 14-win Eagles team. That's what you're doing.
Based on the optics, yeah. Where do you see a loss?
No, don't qualify it. Yes or bleeping no.
I expect it. Yes, I expect them to go 14-3. Yes.
Okay, I like that word better. You're expecting a 14-win Eagles team.
Yeah. In fact, I'll go far. Back to our earlier topic, we said a little while ago. If the Eagles lose another game the rest of the year, that pennant meter goes from a 2 to a 6.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know
I didn't argue with that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you shouldn't lose those games. Like I said, Lions should lock in a 3 spot going forward, barring any catastrophe.
I mean, you shouldn't lose to the Patriots either, but that's on on the Steelers. But anyways.
All right, so the wild card, obviously, the loser of the NFC East will get the 5 seed. We know that already. That's pretty much going to be set in stone. Here's the chaos. So now, the playoffs are today 6-7, the Vikings and Packers. If I'm not mistaken, these 2 teams don't play each other the rest of the year. If I'm not mistaken, I think.
Wait, I missed what you said. Which 2 teams?
Right now, 6-7 are the Vikings and the Packers. The wild card. Okay. Then, right now is 7-6 Vikings, 6-7 Packers.
The Vikings, because the Vikings have 2 games against the Lions.
Yes.
And
is there a Green Bay game in there also?
Packers in Week 17, so they got 3 division games to wrap after facing Jake Browning.
Right. Same record as the Packers 6-7. You got the Rams at 6-7 and as the 8. You have the Seahawks falling apart at 9. And then the Falcons right now 6-7-10. The Saints also 6-7-11 seed. Just for the sake of argument, the Giants are 12 at 5-8.
There's no argument. Stop it. The Eagles are going to eliminate them single-handedly by beating.
I agree with 100%. And not only that, you asking them to leapfrog like 4 different teams to get into the conversation. So that's a lot.
In the words of Dwayne Johnson, "Shut up, bitch."
Yeah. Bears also 5-8. But come on now.
What do we do? Stop it.
So let's lock some things up here. I'm still locking the Niners as the NFC West champions. That's not a problem. Obviously, the NFC East, nope, leave it alone. Okay, I should say NFC East Eagles still because if I say 14 wins, fuck it. I'm locking the East for the Eagles because they still don't lose another game this year. NFC North, I'm locking the Lions, and then after that, wild card, you take it. You know what, bro? I don't give a shit. I know I said the Packers, and I know they lost last night. I'm still locking the Packers as a wild card team.
Well, let the record show that I have the Packers and Vikings both as 8-win teams. If that holds, which with both their schedules it could, like it's very plausible the Vikings don't win another game.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
you're right. They played the Bengals this week, don't they?
They play the Bengals on the 16th. Yes.
Yeah, Bengals, Lions twice, and oh my God, you're right. Bengals, Lions twice, and Packers. Yep.
Which would lock them in at 7. And if they split the Lions, that means the Lions win 10, but the Vikings meet that 8-win expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with the Packers, I have them winning 8 games as well, which I was seen as an internal optimist at the time I did that. If they split with the Vikings, if they lose to the Vikings, which I don't think they will, they have the Bucks, Panthers. Good God. They have the Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, and Bears remaining. They could very well finish with 12 wins. It's very fascinating stuff that the Lions could actually decide this damn schedule with a late game again.
By the way, sneaky big game this weekend too. I don't know if Jim added to the list of games for our Huddle Up podcast tonight. Bucks Packers this week. Sneaky big game. Both 6-7. Just saying. So the reason why I like the Packers to get in the playoffs is this. Now, and granted, it looks bad saying it's now the day after losing to the Giants. The schedule is pretty favorable still. You got Bucks at home this coming Sunday, at Carolina, at Minnesota, and then Chicago at home. I feel like 9 wins the lock to get into the playoffs. A lock.
I think you'll need 10 to do it in that division.
Oh, 10 is the definite lock. 10 means you're
what I'm telling you is 10 win because of the weakness of the remaining Packers schedule. I think anybody who's going to compete with the Pack for that North team needs 10 wins. Period. Point blank. End of story.
Right. Okay. The Rams are the other team I'm looking at really strongly. Great performance against the Ravens in a loss.
Yeah.
Some will argue they should have won that game.
Their
schedule is, other than San Francisco week 18, their schedule is actually very, very favorable.
Unfortunately, their tiebreaker situation is not.
Well, they got it over Seattle. I know that. They beat Seattle twice this year, so that I know they have over.
Excuse me, I have it backwards. The divisional record's the deciding factor there.
Okay, so Rams schedule: Commanders should win that game, but you never know. Saints at home. These 2 games are at home. Commanders, Saints at home in the next 2 weeks. At Giants, and then the Niners on the road, which the Niners might not even need that game. Who knows?
I mean, 4-0. See, the problem with the Rams is as much as 4-0 is on the table for the reason you just described, that the Niners might not even need it. The 4-0 is on the table, but so too is 0-4. This team, right. And I said it. Excuse me, and I said it talking to the judge himself, Mr. Mathis, when previewing this division in July. This is the most difficult team to predict out of all of them because Stafford's status, this O-line, all of it is beyond understanding.
And the season's played out as such.
Well,
your concerns about this team is the 6-7. So
I'll put it this way. I had the Rams winning 7 games all year.
They're almost there.
And that still could happen. Yeah, I mean, they got 6. So them going 1-3 to make me correct is still very much on the board.
Yeah. Seattle. So I play Philadelphia this week. The rest of their schedule, I don't know if it's easy though. But they haven't looked good last. I mean, they fought against Niners this past week.
Eagles, so we know that.
Eagles, Titans. You saw that Titans game out yesterday. They're frisky as hell.
No, they're not.
Okay. No, Steelers.
They didn't win.
So Seahawks schedule kind of interesting here because after this week, it's Philadelphia Monday Night Football at home.
They're playing the Titans.
At Tennessee.
They're going to be playing Trubisky.
Right. Or Rudolph. We'll see. Then go figure Rudolph Reynolds reindeer on Christmas Eve. Who knows? Then you have the Steelers at home, and then the Cardinals on the road. So Seattle's schedule is kind of
No, you said
little
Steelers
light.
twice, buddy.
Oh, sorry. So Titans. So Eagles, Titans, Steelers, and then Cardinals on the road. Right.
So basically, after Jalen Hurts, it's teams with bad quarterbacks.
And for Seattle, I know I was kind of hard on them last week after losing to Dallas, and I'll say, oh, they're done.
After you jinxed them, right?
Even though they lost to San Francisco this weekend, they did get some help. Rams lost, Packers lost.
Yeah.
Vikings schedule is tough. So they are still in the mix. I will still say that I'm taking the Packers over them, but I can't rule out the Seahawks this yet.
I had the oh snap, hold on. I had the Seahawks finishing with 10 wins and being second place in the division.
That's over. Well, I mean, it's still no, they can still win 10 games. They got to go win out the rest of the year, though.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but
then Falcons and Saints. I mean, obviously, these two teams, I don't see them getting the wild card. I think they'll get in as a division winner if they even do that. So
yeah, they'll be hosting. It'll be the second straight year the NFC South is hosted with a losing record.
And you hate that, don't you?
I absolutely do.
All right, AFC. Third number 1 seed now in the AFC. We got the Ravens, 10-3. 2 seed, despite the loss last night. The Dolphins, a 2 seed. 3 are the Chiefs. 4 are the Jaguars. 5 Browns, 8-5, big win against the Jaguars on Sunday. 6 seed got the Steelers at 7-6, but fading. By the way, rough 2 weeks of the Steelers. You lose at home to both the Cardinals and the fucking Patriots. What's wrong with you? And then 7 the Colts with a tough loss to the Bengals. I'll be honest with you, like the Browns.
I have to be honest. Can we give the Bengals some credit rather than pooping on the Colts?
Oh no! This is what I said last week. They're live. So hold up last week.
They're more than live. They're looking good doing it. Like Jake Browning coming out and launching it all over Everbank Stadium for the first Monday Night Football game in nearly 12 years, rather, wasn't just an anomaly. The Colts aren't a horrible team, and he did great again.
I'll be honest with you. I'm even despite the losses, even though Dolphins lost, Chiefs lost, Jaguars lost this week, I'm still locking all 4 division winners.
Okay.
You feel the same way or no?
Yeah, absolutely. The other teams around them in their division are struggling way too much. And the reason why I'm sticking with the Jags as I have throughout, picking them to win the division at 10 wins back in late August, not only did they lose, so too did the Colts and Texans to keep the Jags up in the lead. So
the chaos begins from 5 down, really 6 down. The Browns did themselves a lot of favors by winning that game against the Jaguars.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. And they're scheduled to end the year. Chicago, we got Bears at home, at Texans, then Jets at home, and then the Bengals. Woo! A team they own, actually, for the record. They seem to have owned that team for the last 3 years.
Well, they own Joe Burrow. Let's see if Jake Browning's something different.
But it's safe to say 10 is the lock. 10 is the absolute magic number. Do you see 2 more wins in the Browns in the schedule?
You mean 10 to make a playoff game? Yeah, that's typically it. Do I see 2 wins? Yeah, absolutely, I do.
Okay, so fair enough. So I'm okay at this point locking the Browns up. Joe Flacco has been really good with his team last week. I don't know how it's happened.
I've said it on this show. I've said it on the Duval Dive. Joe Flacco, if nothing else, is an upgrade. Do you have to be excited? No. Do you have to think he's a good quarterback? No. But he's better than when he had, and he was enough of a veteran to make use of the Jags' shortcomings with injury at home in a game that they only won by a score, right?
Right. And, again, he's an experienced quarterback. He just get the job done. I mean,
and by the way, I'll say it out loud. The Browns and Jets should be enough for the the Bears and the Jets should be enough for the Browns to get their 10 wins.
Yeah, totally with you on that one. Steelers 6, Colts 7. I don't know if this holds. I don't feel good about what the Steelers holding this spot. I really don't. Houston, that's a tough loss. So here's the bubble right now in the AFC. This is where it gets really, really, really interesting. So you got 7-6 Steelers, 7-6 Colts. That's 6-7.
Well,
and then you got
the Colts play each other. The Colts and Steelers play each other Saturday. So there's that.
Correct. That is correct. 8 Texans, 9 Broncos, 10 Bengals, 11 Bills, all also 7-6.
The Steelers are going to drop out.
Yep.
I'm going to call them immediately just because their schedule is relatively difficult.
And their schedule is the fact that they don't have a quarterback.
That too, but the schedule doesn't help.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to whether or not the Texans pass the Colts because they play each other in week 18.
They do.
And relative to that, the Texans have the easier schedule. I think they could beat the Browns depending on the health of all the teams involved. But they also get to play the Titans twice, the Texans.
So let me read you off the Colts schedule real quick. You mentioned the Steelers at home on Saturday. Then at Atlanta, the Raiders, and then in Texas, you mentioned Texans. So we said 10 wins is the lock. So can you find 3 wins in the schedule?
You can, but I think it's gonna. What could happen is you have. That's going to be interesting. You could have 3 teams in the AFC South with 10 wins, and one of them's going to go home.
Yep.
Because the Texans have the tiebreak on the Colts.
Right. Now the Texans, meanwhile, they're on the bubble team on 8. What's their schedule looking like?
It's easier by comparison. I mean, the Browns are the tougher one, and then they have the Titans twice. They're going to beat the Titans twice. They're going to sweep the Titans. They may lose to the Browns, but I think they win the final game against the Colts because they have their starting quarterback and the Colts don't.
I'll tell you what, though, that CJ Stroud concussion protocol thing, huge.
Huge situation. Still playing the Titans. Not confident. The Titans are worse. They're absolutely terrible. Crooked
Hillary.
crooked mayonnaise Levis.
Anyway. The Broncos all 7-6. They their schedule is I know they're gonna play Minnesota. No, is it Minnesota this week? Hold on. No, Detroit. Sorry, same division though.
Right.
Their schedule is if they get through this game against Detroit unscathed, their last 3 games, all gimmies, in my opinion.
I mean,
Patriots.
You'll pardon the pun, but the Broncos are the wild card here, right? Whether or not you see 3 AFC South teams will depend on the Broncos and the tie breaks.
Because if they can get through, they can get to 10 wins without winning this game against Detroit. Because the last 3 games of the year, Patriots, Chargers, all at home, and then at Raiders.
Most importantly, all AFC wins that they could rack up to finish strong for tie breaks.
Correct. So they can get to 10 wins themselves. Let's see the Bengals here real quick. Bengals schedule coming up.
The Bengals schedule is far more difficult.
Oh, got ya. Minnesota this week, must win both teams. Absolutely must win both teams here. At Steelers, they should win that game with the way they're playing right now.
I think the Steelers I think the Vikings and Bengals are both non-factors. They're just going to see this game I'm going to dub the delaying of the inevitable. Whoever wins is doing only that.
Right. Steelers. So Vikings Vikings at home, Steelers on the road, at Kansas City, and then the Browns. Tougher schedule. They are live, but tougher schedule of the 2. Buffalo's schedule, I know off the top of my head. Buffalo is the best team of the bubble teams here, in my opinion. Certainly the most upside. Cowboys this week.
Highest ceiling, lowest floor.
So Cowboys for them this week. Then they got to play the Chargers, Patriots, and Dolphins at the end of the year.
I think the Dolphins send them home.
Okay. So they're out. Buffalo gave up too many games this year this is why I love the NFL, man, because I got laughed at for saying this week 1.
And rightly so.
They missed the playoffs because of a tiebreaker, because of that. These are the games to look at. You should win that Jet game. You should win this game. You should win that game.
Well, I mean, losing a game in week 1 to Zach Wilson, it's still not a must win, so stop it.
So I'm not going to ask you for a lock, but I'm going to ask you for how does your wild card, not locking them up, just saying how would your wild card look like right now if you had to pick right now, your 3 wild card teams?
I think I said it was. I said it earlier. It's the Texans. It's the
Browns.
Yes, Browns, Texans, Broncos. And Colts fans get pissed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Browns, Broncos as a 6 seed because they can win out. I mean, if they beat Detroit, they'll sail to fucking to 11 wins probably. At that point, I'm gonna go Browns, Broncos, and shit. I want to go Buffalo, Cincy, man, but that schedule's just tough.
Say the Texans. Get it done. Just say the Texans.
I gotta. Well, assuming CJ Stroud's healthy this week, because
he doesn't need to be healthy. They're playing the Titans.
After we saw last night, I don't want to hear that shit. So
stop it.
But I will go Texans because of that, though. Just because of that, because of the schedule. But if he doesn't play this week, they lose to Tennessee. They're fucked.
Well, obviously, that's a completely different scenario now, isn't it? A lot.
Every game, brother. Every game going forward for these teams are must wins now. Every game. Just saying. So I'll go Texas to 7 seed because I think CJ will play this week and they will beat Tennessee. So that's that. But yeah, that's a very long breakdown of the playoff schedule, dude. This is gonna be this is one of the most wildest wildcard situations in a month we've seen in years, really.
And yet, you still think you could defy me in my picks? Oh no, wait! You actually matched me. You learned your lesson. Never mind.
Which one? On what?
No. You ended up picking the Texans. So you
no, because I wanted to go Cincy in Buffalo,
but you can't.
But the schedules don't shake out that way.
I know. That's the whole reason I picked the Chargers back in 16, buddy. It's because the schedule shook out that way.
Now, if CJ Stroud's out for this week against Tennessee, that's we gotta look at that Tennessee game a little more emboldened.
Jeffrey Simmons, I believe, is supposed to be out for Tennessee as well. That's a bigger deal.
Okay. One last thing to get out of here. One last thing. In college, Jayden Daniels won the Heisman. They got it wrong, didn't they?
Absolutely. Okay. Now, granted. I'm going to talk to Drew. I talked to Drew Glukov about this on the Student of the Game, and I think he could give a compelling reason better than anybody on an actual panel or whatever did. But not a fan. I granted I vote about it as it's more like an MVP award, but there's a difference between picking the best player in college football and picking an MVP. If you pick it like the best player in college football, I kind of see it. If you're picking it as if it's an MVP, you're wrong. So,
yeah, I would have gone Penix still because what he went through this year.
My order is Penix, Harrison, Nix, Daniels.
Yeah, I would have gone actually Harrison, because that the quarterback play for Ohio State was not that great this year.
Not great, Bob.
Right. So yeah, I would have gone the same. I would have gone definitely Penix, Harrison. Yeah, you're right. Same thing with you. Maybe. See, your point about the MVP versus the best player thing, because Jayden Daniels was the best player in college football by virtue of the numbers, but the value of Penix and that gauntlet that Washington faces here,
that award alone, exactly.
It goes, yeah, I'm totally with you on that one. Plug away, Kyle. You and I on the same page today. I can't believe that.
Honor, joy, and privilege. Help me to do it again with you this week. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the Student of the Gang. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. You can find me on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Threads as the SOTG. Check out me out as well on Facebook as a Student of the Game. Check out my writings with Jaguar Report of Fan Nation, of Sports Illustrated. Check out my work also with the 3-point conversion. I'll be covering at least one bowl game, the Cure Bowl, coming up this weekend here in Orlando. The Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl, featuring the Miami of Ohio Redhawks and the Appalachian State Mountaineers, two G5 giants. A 7th ranked defense in points allowed for Miami of Ohio versus the 14th best in points per game, or best offense rather, in points per game against your App State Mountaineers. So that could be an interesting game. I'm going to be going to the coaches presser on Wednesday, putting up a preview that should drop on Thursday on the 3pointconversion.com. Bing! And then also a wrap up of the game. And of course, the Gasparilla Bowl is coming up on December 22nd. 22nd, where I will be covering UCF with the black and gold Banneret as they play Georgia Tech. And not to mention some basketball. And speaking of basketball, A7BN Sports, the Orlando Magic. My work there as well.
On a roll too.
Yeah, got another one on Monday night. So yeah, that's another thing I look at too. Check out, of course, the Duval Dive Friday here at 11:15 a.m. Doing the thing. Wrapping up the Jacks loss and seeing if they could bounce back Sunday night against the Baltimore Ravens at Everbank Stadium, the penultimate regular season home game for the Jags. So that should be fun there too. An honor, joy, and privilege, EJ Christian. But until next time, class.
Thank you.